Hey everybody, my name is Joel Stepanek. I'm the Director for Youth Ministry at St. Francis of Assisi Parish, and this is our first of 4 online spiritual formation exercises for the Sacrament of Confirmation this spring. I'm happy that you chose this option. I think that it will help you to grow in a lot of different ways that hopefully you expect and some that you may not have expected so much. The important thing to remember as we go through these 4 spiritual exercises is that they are just that, exercises. Just like anyone would go to a gym or would go out running for physical exercise in hopes of altering their health or their physical appearance, spiritual exercises are daily or weekly routines that a person gets into to help improve their spiritual well-being and their spiritual health. But just like any exercise, spiritual exercises require a certain discipline and a certain routine in order to achieve the desired effect. So for these things, it's important to keep in mind that as they are talked about and as they're assigned, and you integrate them into your life, it will oftentimes have to be something you almost do on a daily basis in order to be able to accurately reflect on it at the end of the month. That being said, our first assignment is going to look a little something like this. Because we have a short month in February, only about 2 weeks to do this spiritual exercise, it's going to be something you have to do every day. Before you kind of get worried about that, it's no more than 5 minutes every day. The day should start off with an attitude of prayer, and that can be something as simple as saying, Lord, I'm here today, and I need you to show me where you are today. You see, the whole point of this spiritual exercise is to try and find places in the world where we see God. Our whole world is saturated with God, everything in His creation. Nature even is called the first evangelist, that even if we did not have the Gospels or Jesus Christ or the Old Testament or the Bible or any of these things, that just by looking at nature, we will be able to observe and deduce that there is a God, and He is a good God. But there's so much more than that, because we have all of our friends and our families and the people in our lives. Those people can be revealing of God too. But a lot of times in the world we live in, it becomes difficult to see God because there's a lot of bad things, or there's just natural disasters. People are hurting, people are sad. Sometimes we have bad days where we just can't even figure out where love is, let alone where God is. And so this first exercise focuses first with that 5 minutes of prayer. And it's an attitude of openness, of asking God to open up your eyes to find Him. In the scriptures it says, ask and you will receive, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open for you. And that's the attitude to approach this spiritual exercise, is that of seeking God in the world that you live. Whether that's at school, at work, at home, with your friends, whatever. But it has to start with prayer. Now, can you see God and find God in the world without prayer? Sure. But it's that seeking that is going to take this whole exercise to the next level. So 5 minutes a day, asking God to reveal Himself to you in the world. And then simply being an observer. Now, the other difficult part of this assignment, and what makes it so deceptively difficult, is that at the end of the day, you're probably going to want to jot a couple notes. Nothing long, but just a couple short notes about where you did see God that day, or where it was difficult to find God, or places where you didn't expect to see God and yet you found God there. Maybe 2 or 3 brief notes, a couple sentences. The reason for doing that is oftentimes we look for God in the really big, earth-shattering, crazy moments, and God is a lot of times in the mundane, small, quiet moments, the things that we're most apt to forget. And so by writing things down almost on a daily basis, not only is it going to give you an idea of hopefully how present God is in your life, but it's also going to help you remember a lot of those small, mundane, quiet moments where God is so present. Now, at the end of the month, at the end of February, take a look back on those things, on praying at the beginning of the day, in whatever way you like. Ultimately, it's a prayer of openness. And in your reflection paper, reflect a little bit about what this experience has shown you and brought to you. Remember, as you write a reflection paper, it's not so much about like a history of the exercise or how to do it or how you did it. I mean, that's good stuff to know, but I'm really more concerned about what you took out of the experience and what your thoughts were and what your feelings were and where you saw God and maybe how this changed you. And so as you reflect back on the past couple weeks and that daily practice of beginning your day in prayer and then seeking out the places where God would be found, I'd like to know how that affects you. And so reflect on those experiences. Some things to share would be, like I said, places you found God, places you were surprised to find God, and days, times, or things that made you struggle with seeing God in the world around you. This assignment will be due on the first confirmation class of March, which is March 4th. And if you have any questions about it or you're just kind of struggling with it, feel free to call my office or to drop me an email. If you need a copy of the guidelines for writing a reflection paper, you can find those at welcometotherevolution.com. It's a numeral 2. And other than that, know that my prayers will be with you over this next month as you look for God in the world around you, because God is already there and he's just waiting for you to come seek him. And I pray that you not only are able to find him, but that you continually find your rock in Christ.